friends, Jim Nance. Welcome back to the NFL Today from our Fifth Avenue studios in New York. Coming up, three big games as far as the playoff picture. The Jets at Oakland. If the Raiders win, they will secure the number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs and a first-round bye. Buffalo at Miami. A Dolphin victory will give Miami a home playoff game in the wild card round. They cannot win the division. New England has already claimed it here at this hour. And Kansas City at Seattle with the Seahawks still holding on to some hope of making the AFC as a wild card entrant. Jim Nance, Mike Ditka, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville. We've seen a lot of blowouts here so far, guys.
We see blowouts by the three teams are going in. San Francisco, Chicago, and Green Bay blew out the opponents, proved they're worthy to get on the right note.
All right, a lot of things to figure out, fellas, on the AFC side, but the NFC thing is coming into focus. Let's check out the NFC side right now. We still don't know the number 1 seed. The Bears have won the NFC Central. The Rams will have to beat the Falcons to take the 1. If they fall to the Falcons, Chicago would have home field throughout. We do know, well, Tampa and Philly were already set coming into the day. It'll be San Francisco and Green Bay in the other wild card game. About 2:50 remaining at Giant Stadium, and Green Bay leads by 9. Now, should they collapse, they were up 34-17. Should they collapse, they would flip it, and it would be the Packers at San Francisco. But the 6 teams are set for the NFC playoffs. A lot still to be decided on the AFC side. Let's go through the scores and highlights. And New England has won the East of the AFC, dominating the second half of Carolina. Panthers close out the year with a record 15 straight losses in one season. This broke it open. Troy Brown, the game was 10-3 at this point. He goes 68 yards on the punt return.
And that's exactly why he never plays in the preseason, Jim. He doesn't catch passes. He doesn't return kicks. They keep him for when it counts.
And Antoine Smith, what a find for them this season. 32 yards. This made it 24-6.
He fumbled earlier, but he made up for it. They got him for nothing from the Buffalo Bills.
And the Pro Bowl quarterback Tom Brady connects with Wiggins to break it open for good. Belichick's boys to the Super Bowl. You guys were talking about they have the momentum going into the playoffs.
They're playing as good as anybody, Jim, and they're making adjustments as good as anybody, offensively and defensively. I think you got to watch this team all the way, because I don't think they're making a lot of noise. I just think they're doing the job.
Well, New England right now, Jerry, will be rooting for the Jets, their division rival, to beat the Raiders, because if the Jets beat the Raiders, then New England would move up and have that first-round bye and be the number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs.
And right now, I think they may be the only team in the AFC that can get after the Steelers. They are not afraid of the Steelers.
Jerry, you got to remember what Bill Belichick's and Romeo Cornell's strength is: situational defense. They know how to take people away from teams. They know how to take the Bennis away,
And
Jason Burris away.
Adjustments, that's what they're going to do.
All right, guys, the number 1 seed for the AFC in the playoffs, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm not sold on the way they're entering the playoffs. Betta set out again today. His backup, Matuma, had a good game, but then suffered a groin injury, and Cordell was not hot today before he was pulled.
Well, he had 2 interceptions in the first half. This is the opening kickoff of the second half. Ben Gay fumbles it. Troy Edwards picks it up. That opened the floodgates for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you're absolutely right, Jim. Cordell Stewart has not been sharp. The defense for today for the Steelers was sharp, and Bobby Shaw takes that pass there from Tommy Maddox.
Cordell a break here, save them for the playoffs. They now have a bye. They have a bye, and 2 weeks from now they'll host a divisional playoff game. In fact, let's look in now at that Steeler locker room after the victory. Joey Porter and company celebrating.
I know we're going to ride down and have this business. All right.
Who won? We won. That's what
that's it. Who won? We won. That's pretty good. I didn't understand that.
But they got a week to rest before they host a game at Heinz Field.
By the way, the 13 wins for the Steelers, first 13-win season since 1978.
The other teams are going to have to play catch-up.
And we know what happened later in that season. All right, the Bears and the Jags. Chicago wins the NFC Central as they
I think it's pretty convincing here.
Yep.
This is Leon Johnson taking it from the 2-yard line. Watch this play right here. A great play by Keith Traylor. One-handed catch now. Watch this. I'll tell you what, in my last word, I never saw the fridge run like this.
Oxygen! Give me oxygen!
Oh, my God. He takes it down to about the 4-yard line here, I believe. And then they go in from there. Unbelievable.
That's
Another one. Watch it. Another tip ball bounces off the helmet. The Bears are opportunistic. Roosevelt Cole picks it off, and there he goes. It just sets up things.
How critical has he been for this defense, Mike?
He's a great football player. He's a very underrated football player on defense. Doesn't get the credit that some of the other guys get.
Look at Thomas, 160 yards.
Well, he's a man. He's a horse.
Chicago. Jags close their season at 6-10, losing to their former defensive coordinator, Jerron, today. And Chicago, its first 13-win season since Mike Ditka won 13
baby.
back in 1986. Only 3 coaches in their 81 year
Papa
history.
Bear, Hollis.
Jerron, Ditka, Papa Bear. Right
I
to
say
Jerron.
give him all a raise.
Hey, this just
Give
in.
Oliver the
In
bonus.
the last 30 seconds, Michael Strahan has gotten the all-time sack record.
Well, great. That's fantastic.
Well,
You rooted hard enough for him.
He breaks the gas to the mark over at Giant Stadium in a game that's really been controlled by the Packers. A late rally here by the Giants to get within 9, but it was 34-17 here early in the fourth quarter. And what about the performance here today by Green Bay?
Well, I think really you got to look at Favre. He came out and he done everything he had to do early in the game. He got the ball down the field to his big receivers, got two touchdowns on the board right away, and then they kind of coasted in. Mine Green was running the ball, but the Giants made a comeback, but it's not enough.
Well, still 2 minutes to go in that game. Again, if Green Bay holds on to win it, Green Bay will host San Francisco in a wild card game. More stories, more scores and highlights next. Welcome back to the NFL Today. Jim Nance in New York. I'd like to welcome those of you who watched the New England Patriots clinch the AFC East and send the Panthers to their 15th straight loss. That's the first time in NFL history any team lost 15 straight inside of the same season. Big doubleheader day on CBS coming up. The Jets against Oakland. A win by the Raiders would give the Raiders the number 2 seed and a first-round bye. However, if the Jets win, the Patriots will have a week off and have an opening round bye. Buffalo against Miami. A Dolphin win would give Miami a home game in the wild card round next week. And Kansas City against Seattle. The Seahawks, they know what they have to do. Nothing has changed at this hour. They have to win and hope for either a Jets loss today or a Ravens loss tomorrow. Back to the board, the 49ers blank the Saints, who close out their season in the last 7 quarters, being shut out 78-0 the last 7 quarters.
There's Terrell Owens catching the first of 2 touchdown passes in the first half from Jeff Garcia. Garcia, 263 yards in this game and 4 touchdowns. Terrell Owens only had 2 catches, both for touchdowns and 116 yards. The Saints had 6 turnovers, and for the 49er defense, their 3rd shutout of the year. The youngest defense in the NFL sets a club record with 3 shutouts.
Again, the 49ers will be playing at Green Bay in the wild card round just a minute to go before the Packers up 9 on the Giants goes final. That'll send San Francisco on the road against Green Bay next week. Meanwhile, the Saints close out the year with 4 straight losses by an average, giving up over an average of 40 points a game in those 4 losses. Indianapolis, 6-10 to close out the year. Harrison scored twice today for Indianapolis, and the undrafted rookie, Dominique Rhodes, goes over 1,000. First undrafted rookie to ever do so. Greasy had a real hard time out there today. Greasy was picked off 4 times in this loss as Denver closes out its season. There's the second one to Harrison. Denver closes out its year at 8-8. Cincinnati and Tennessee, 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining, and the Titans lead it by 1 right now, but the Bengals have possession, and Neil Rackers, who has struggled this season mightily, is warming up and loosening up for a possible field goal try on the Bengals sideline right now, getting ready. Redskins final now. They close out the year 8-8 after opening 0-5. And the Cowboys and the Lions, that's gone final. Detroit collects the 2nd win on the season. Detroit gets a touchdown from Morton. Emmitt Smith, by the way, sets the all-time NFL record, 11 straight seasons. Over 1,000 yards. That's some accomplishment there. Atlanta and St. Louis, if the Rams win, they get the 1 seed. If they fall to the Falcons, that will go to the Chicago Bears. We'll see at halftime coming up. A lot of big games right here on CBS. Enjoy it all. We'll see you at halftime.